I became the villain in someone else's marriage without even knowing it. And now I'm trying to heal after his wife revealed everything. You should know your boyfriend is married. His wife's name is Sarah. Here's their Christmas card. That was the message. No greeting, no threat. Just a fact, a name, and a photo of a smiling couple with a toddler between them. All three wore matching sweaters. The caption, "Happy Holidays from the Parkers." Sent by a stranger. At 1:12 a.m., I stared at the screen until it blurred. My mouth went dry. My body forgot how to breathe. Daniel, the man who'd told me he was separated, who held my face in his hands and whispered, "You're the only thing that feels right." The man I'd been seeing for 3 months. People talk about the other woman like she's a villain. But what if she doesn't even know she's in someone else's story until she's already written into the plot? I didn't mean for any of this to happen. When I met Daniel, I wasn't looking for love. I wasn't even looking for attention. It was late September when we first crossed paths. A joint campaign project between my agency and his firm. I was leading strategy on the brand side. He was the project manager on their end. Our roles meant we had to communicate constantly, which turned into messages outside of work hours, which turned into late-night brainstorming, which turned into long talks that had nothing to do with work at all. He was warm in a quiet way, the kind of man who made you feel listened to, not performatively, not in the way some men wait for their turn to speak, but truly, deeply listened. He remembered that I had a cat who hates strangers, that I couldn't stand peppermint, that I slept with the window cracked even in winter. He noticed things no one else bothered to. It started with little jokes, inside references in meetings, glances across the table, the harmless kind of tension that builds without permission, the kind you tell yourself you can walk away from. I didn't, and neither did he. One night, after a pitch meeting went late, we ended up grabbing drinks, just the two of us. There was a storm rolling in, the city buzzed low and electric. And I remember thinking, this feels like the beginning of something, and I don't know if I'm ready for it. He walked me home. We stood outside my apartment building, not touching, but too close to call it friendly. That's when he told me, "I should be honest," he said. "I'm technically still married, but it's over. We're separated, just finalizing paperwork. Living in the same place for now because of our kid, but emotionally, it's been done for a long time." I didn't respond right away. I didn't run either. He didn't push. Just stood there, vulnerable, waiting for my silence to turn into something. I wish I could say I walked away. I wish I could say I listened to the voice in my head telling me, "Don't get involved, Emma. This isn't you." But something about the way he said it, the quiet exhaustion, the sadness, I believed him. I think part of me wanted to believe him. The weeks that followed felt like a slow unraveling. We kept things discreet for obvious reasons. No sleepovers, no photos. He'd come over for dinner sometimes, leave before midnight, always with some variation of, "I have to be back before the morning." At first, I respected it. He's trying to be a good father, I told myself. He's in transition, it's temporary. And besides, he was so present when he was with me. He'd cook, he'd read my writing, he'd kiss me like I was the only real thing in his world. I didn't ask too many questions. I didn't want to ruin it. Even when small things felt off, when he'd silence his phone the second he walked in, when I once glimpsed a child's backpack in the back seat of his car and he said, "That's my niece's." I nodded and looked away. Love, or something like it, has a way of fogging your vision. I told Chloe, my best friend, bits and pieces. She raised her eyebrows. "Separated is still married, Em." I waved her off. It's not like that. Except now I know it was. 3 months, that's how long it lasted. Long enough to fall. Not long enough to see the ground before I hit it. Now I lie in bed at 2 a.m., scrolling through photos of his family that were never supposed to exist in my version of the story. Now I'm the woman people whisper about in group chats. Now I'm the one who's hated by strangers for being a cliché. And still, the worst part isn't the shame. It's that a part of me, humiliated, heartbroken, betrayed, still misses him. Still wonders which parts were real. Still hopes he lied to everyone except me. This is how it begins. Not with seduction, not with scandal. Just a man who says all the right things at exactly the wrong time. And a woman who wanted to believe him. The hours after the message are a blur. I don't remember falling asleep. Only the sticky cold of early morning, the ache behind my eyes, the taste of something bitter rising in my throat. My phone is still on the pillow, the photo of Daniel and his family lit up in the darkness, mocking me. I read the message again, and again. Each time my mind tries to rewrite it, to explain it away. But the truth stares back, pixel by pixel. I call Chloe first. She answers on the second ring, groggy but alert. Emma, what's wrong? I hear my voice, high and broken, telling her about the message, about Sarah, about the photo. Chloe is quiet for a long time. Finally, I'm coming over. While I wait, I scroll back through every conversation with Daniel, searching for the moment where everything went wrong. There are no obvious clues, no smoking gun, just little things. Invisible until you know where to look. The silenced phone, the vanished weekends, the excuse about his niece's backpack. I see them all now, lined up like red flags at a parade I refuse to watch. Chloe arrives in sweatpants, armed with coffee and fury. She paces my apartment, muttering curses, then sits beside me and takes my hand. We're going to get answers, she says, fierce. He doesn't get to do this to you. I spend the day in a fog, barely eating, replaying every memory. Was it real? Was any of it? I can't decide what hurts more, that he lied or that I let myself believe him. Late afternoon, I text Daniel. I need to talk. Now. He replies almost instantly. I'm at work. Is everything okay? My hands tremble. Number. It's not. I know about Sarah. There's a pause. Too long, too empty, before he answers. Emma, please, let me explain. It's not what you think. I feel something snap inside me. Come here, tonight, or don't ever speak to me again. That evening, when he arrives, I barely recognize him. He looks tired, older, the confident Daniel I knew, replaced by someone small and crumpled. He stands in the hallway, eyes red. Emma, I cut him off. How long have you been lying to me? He tries to reach for me. I step back. Please, he says, just let me talk. I didn't mean for this to happen. You have to believe me, things with Sarah they're complicated. I never wanted to hurt you. My voice shakes. But you did? You told me you were separated. You said it was over. Was any of that true? He covers his face with his hands. We are separated. Emotionally, we are. But yes, I still live at home. For my son. For stability. It's not what you think, Emma. I swear I love you. The words hit me like a slap. You have a family, Daniel. You lied to me. You lied to her. And now everyone knows except me. For a moment, I almost laugh. How absurd it is to be standing in my hallway, tears streaming down my face, my world burning down because of a man who couldn't choose. He tries to explain. He says Sarah knows their marriage is dead, that they sleep in separate rooms, that he's tried to leave 12 times. He says she threatened to take his son if he moved out, that he couldn't risk it. He tells me I'm the only thing that's made him feel alive in years. Every word is a cut, reopening wounds I didn't know I had. I trusted you, I whisper. He cries then. I didn't know men like Daniel cried. He begs, he promises, he says he'll fix it. He says, don't leave me, Emma, please. But all I can see is that photo, the happy family, the Christmas sweaters, the lie at the center of it all. When he finally leaves, I collapse onto the floor, numb. I don't answer his calls. I don't answer anyone. Days blur together. I delete social media, block numbers I don't recognize, turn off my phone for hours at a time. The world feels colder, smaller, suffocating. I replay every memory, every word. How could I not see it? Was I really that naive? Or did I just want so badly to believe someone could love me that I ignored what was right in front of me? Chloe checks in daily. She brings soup, distraction, dark jokes to make me smile. She doesn't say, I told you so, but I hear it anyway. At night, sleep is impossible. My mind circles the same questions, over and over. Who am I if I could be so blind? What does it mean to be the other woman if you never agreed to play that part? I wonder about Sarah, what she knows, what she thinks of me. I want to write to her, to apologize, but I don't. What good would it do? I want to hate Daniel, but mostly I hate myself. I want to move on. I want to forget. But grief has a way of settling into the cracks you didn't know were there. Sometimes, in the quiet, I remember the good moments. His laugh, the way he looked at me, the feeling that, for a little while, I mattered. It hurts to realize that even those memories are poisoned now. But I also feel something else, quietly blooming beneath the pain. Anger, not just at Daniel, but at myself, for letting my loneliness blind me, for giving so much trust to someone who didn't deserve it. I decide, finally, to confront him one last time, not for him, but for me. I write out what I want to say, cross out the apologies, the pleas, the self-blame. You made me believe I was special, but you never gave me the truth. You don't get to ask for forgiveness from the mess you made. Don't contact me again. I hope you find the courage to fix your own life, without using someone else as your excuse. I send it, I block his number, and then I sit alone in the dark, tears drying on my face, and promise myself, I will not let this define me. I will grieve, and then I will let go. Days blur together after I block Daniel. There's no dramatic release, no instant sense of freedom, just a hollow ache that lingers everywhere I go. I spend hours replaying conversations in my head, rewriting moments, searching for ways I could have prevented it all. The truth is, there are no clean breaks, just the slow unraveling of a life I thought I understood. At first, I avoid the outside world. I skip work, letting emails pile up. My apartment becomes a cocoon, a space where I don't have to answer questions or meet pitying stares. I ignore my phone, except for Chloe's daily check-ins. She brings me groceries, sometimes books or bad movies, and never pushes me to talk when I can't. It takes weeks before I manage more than 2 hours of sleep a night. When I do, my dreams are a carousel of guilt, longing, and flashes of Daniel's face. Sometimes loving, sometimes accusing. I wonder if this is what it means to grieve for someone who never really belonged to you. One evening, after a particularly rough day, Chloe insists I join her for a walk. It's not therapy, she promises. It's just air. You need air. We stroll the riverbank in silence until finally I speak. I can't stop thinking about her, about Sarah. What if I ruined her life? What if I'm what everyone says I am? Chloe squeezes my shoulder. You didn't know. You can't punish yourself forever for trusting someone who didn't deserve it. She pauses, then, and even if you'd known, you're still allowed to forgive yourself. People make mistakes, Em. Good people do too. Her words sting, but they stay with me. That night, I scroll through confession threads online, reading stories from people like me, women and men who'd stumbled into lies, who'd fallen for people with double lives. Some had rebuilt, some hadn't, but their shame and confusion felt so familiar, I almost wanted to reach through the screen and hold their hands. I realize I'm not alone. That helps, a little. When I finally return to work, I feel like a ghost of myself. Colleagues ask if I'm okay. I mutter excuses. Family issues, exhaustion, the flu. The project Daniel and I worked on is still there, waiting. I can't look at it without feeling a lump in my throat. His emails arrive, short and neutral, nothing personal. I never reply. Still, the world keeps spinning. Meetings need running. Deadlines don't care about broken hearts. Gradually, the rhythm of my old life returns, if only in pieces. But inside, I'm different. There's a thin layer of anger beneath my sadness now. Anger at Daniel, at myself, at the circumstances that made any of this possible. Some nights, I rehearse speeches I'll never give. Words I'd say to him if I ever saw him again, or to Sarah if she ever wanted the truth. One night, on impulse, I write Sarah a letter I never send. I'm sorry for my part in this mess. I didn't know about you or your son until it was too late. I hope you find peace, even if I never do. Emma. I save it in my drafts. Just writing it feels like a small release. Chloe convinces me to try new things, a pottery class, a Sunday market, even a group therapy session. The first time I share, my voice shakes so much I almost leave the room. But then I notice nods of recognition, other people who've been lied to, who carry the same invisible shame. A middle-aged man describes the day he found out his partner had another family. A young woman laughs through tears as she admits she still stalks her ex's social media, looking for signs she mattered. Their pain is different, but somehow it makes mine easier to hold. Little by little, the world expands. I cook for myself again, not just to eat, but to care. I let Luna sleep on my chest, her warmth grounding me when nights are still too long. I take photos of flowers, of sunlight on my windowsill, of street art I pass on the way to work. Life is happening, even when I'm not watching closely. One morning, I wake up and realize it's been a full day since I thought about Daniel. The emptiness hasn't disappeared, but it's no longer the center of everything. I catch myself laughing with Chloe over coffee, telling a story from work. And only later do I notice that the sound is real, not forced, not hollow. Healing isn't dramatic. There's no switch, no moment where pain turns into joy. It's slow, subtle, a kind of quiet forgiveness that grows with time. Some days, I still wonder about Sarah, about what she's gone through, about whether she's okay. I wish I could tell her how sorry I am, how little I knew. I wonder if Daniel ever tells the truth, even to himself. I wonder if he ever loved me at all. But mostly, I wonder about myself. I ask if I can forgive the woman who let herself believe in a fairy tale, who ignored her own intuition, who got swept up in wanting to feel special, even at the cost of someone else's pain. The answer, I think, is yes, or at least I'm learning how. Weeks pass, the city turns green again. Chloe and I sit by the river, feet dangling over the edge, talking about nothing and everything. She looks at me. "You seem lighter." I smile, surprised to realize it's true. I am. I'm not okay yet, but I'm getting there. We clink coffee cups, and for the first time in months, I believe it. I'm not the sum of one mistake, one love gone wrong. I am still Emma, messy, hopeful, trying. And that's enough for now. To anyone out there reading this, wondering if you'll ever feel whole again after trusting the wrong person. You will. Not all at once, not without scars. But you are more than what was done to you. You're more than one bad chapter in someone else's story.